This is the Morning After with Chris, and today I'm with Nicole, who's going to help us talk about energy and attraction in dating.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. How do you think the nervous system plays a role in like day-to-day life and dating?
Such a big question. And the most simple answer is that like our nervous system is literally our body's like communication of like what is safe versus what isn't safe. So it's constantly scanning our environment. It's scanning like the physical surroundings, but also the people that we're interacting with and like all of the things to decide like, am I safe right now?
Right.
And logically, we don't get to decide what safe means.
Right. So a lot of people don't even know if their nervous system comes into play
Yeah.
in like certain situations.
Yeah.
So like give us an example of that.
Like, I mean, like when you think about like when you experience chills because something feels good because you listen to a song that like moves you in some way, or like you just feel that good energy with someone else, like that's your nervous system responding. Or like that gut feeling that you have, or like your heart racing, like that's your nervous system responding.
What about confidence and your nervous system?
Yeah. So like, I think,
Especially because like I gotta say, I think I'm confused at times, like with my nervous system.
yeah,
Like what is nerves? I mean, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have that confusion. They don't know.
well,
What's
it is confusing
confidence.
because so like primally speaking, we are animals, right? Like primally we're just animals, but we obviously are more evolved. We have like front brains and we're not just like lizards laying out in the sun, but our nervous systems are still kind of in that primal state. And so as humans, it gets confusing because we have like our logic and our ego and all the other things and conditioning all around us telling us different things and just making that super confusing. So it is really hard to know, like, what am I experiencing right now? What am I feeling right now? And that takes practice, like to learn the language of your own nervous system and to kind of discern, like, is this just my own logic and anxiety and like mental chatter spiraling me into thinking I'm feeling something, or is it my body actually experiencing something?
Like, what would you say would be a green flag, a red flag?
Yeah, I think, again, this is going to be so unique for each person because your nervous system is going to communicate to you in its own way. But I think beginning to kind of recognize like, oh, like when I'm feeling good, when I'm experiencing like pleasure and joy and, you know, feeling connected and quote unquote safe, these are the things my body is feeling versus like what is happening in times that like this actually isn't safe. Like think about, I don't know, like when you're in rush hour traffic and you're running late, like begin to notice what's your body feeling. And that can be like, okay, that's what your body might experience when it's like not feeling safe. And then you can start to realize that, okay, so in times of safety, like these are my green flags versus these are my red flags. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think it means something different for everybody.
It does,
right?
yeah. So it's not like a black and white answer.
No, it's not. And especially like, you know, when you think about green flags, red flags, you know, making sure that you're healed in dating.
Yeah.
Like
what does
everybody
healed
has
even mean, though?
so many traumas when it comes
Yeah.
to dating or issues to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Do you feel that people need to be fully healed before they start dating?
I mean, like I would ask like, what does fully healed even mean, right? Like I think that's kind of a pie in the sky dream. So like I'd love to hear from you. Like, what do you think being fully healed looks like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is such a gray area.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I feel there are a lot of people, and I appreciate them who, you know, seek out like counseling,
therapy.
coaching. And I mean, I don't know how you get to end result to where you feel like you need to be, you know, where you're fully healed to date.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it would probably be like learn as you go.
Yeah.
Like how else do you know if you're not like tipping your toe in and like
Yeah.
trying it out?
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like you got to try it to know.
Yeah. It's kind of like riding a bike, right? Like you can't like just learn how to ride a bike by hearing other people talk about how they ride a bike or reading about riding a bike. Like you have to go get on the bike.
Yeah. Get on the bike.
Yeah.
Bike around.
Yeah.
Or a scooter.
Yeah. Or a scooter. Sure.
Try it out. And
Yeah.
See how
Well, and
you
I
feel.
think that trial, I don't even want to say trial and error, but like getting on the bike, getting on the scooter, getting in the dating world, beginning to like have relationships with people, that's how you also get to learn about yourself.
Yeah.
That's how you get to, it's like trying things on for size. Like, ooh, I like that. No, I didn't like that. And you can't do that unless you go out in there and do it.
Yeah. And even when we're matching people, like I always say in the beginning, it is very trial and error because we don't know about everybody, first
I feel like
conversation.
It's like jean shopping, which is the absolute worst.
Oh my God. Jean shopping is the worst. So is bikini shopping.
Yeah.
We won't get into that because that's traumatizing.
Talking about trauma.
Yeah. No, not today. But, like people come to us and I'm like, it's trial and error.
Yeah.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. And then we'll move on from there.
Yeah.
So everybody has to try something on.
Yeah, literally. And I think like coming back to that question of like being fully healed, like it's also like you're in relationship with someone. So like they potentially are going to bring certain qualities and aspects out of you and you them. And like, so it's not just you alone. And I think that's a tricky thing too, because we think, oh, I just need to be fully healed and it's all me. It's not all you. It's also like, who is it that you are in relationship with?
Yeah. How would you define the difference between being vulnerable and being messy?
Yeah, I think that vulnerability piece has a lot to do with like self-trust and like, again, feeling confident to authentically be yourself. And so it's like, I'm willing to tell you this part of me that feels vulnerable, but I also like still love myself through it. I'm not like judging or shaming myself with it. And I think that messy side of things is like, I don't know, I think of like Hot Mess Express where like you just don't know what's up, you don't know what's down, and like the confidence isn't with it.
So like if you feel to yourself like you feel like you're being messy, like it's hard to get past that. Yeah, you're not confident.
Yeah.
But it really is the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but vulnerability I think has the confidence with it.
Yeah. And how do you tell if like love is actually love or just like control dressed up nicely?
Yeah. Oh my God. That is such a good question. Because again, I think this requires you to, be in tune with yourself and be in tune with your nervous system, whether or not you actually have like the language for it. But I feel like people will say like love is a choice versus like love is just a feeling. And I think it's both, right? Like I think it is a feeling. And so you start to learn what that feeling might feel like. But there's also like toxic love out there. And that might be like, well, I think I want this. And that's kind of your ego talking versus like your nervous system talking. And so beginning to just learn like, what does that true safeness, that true feeling of safety, that true feeling of like, I feel connected to this person. I feel like this person can see all of me. I think that's love.
Do you have that?
With my husband?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny you ask that because him and I have been I've known him since grade 4.
What?
I've literally known him since grade 4. We've technically been dating since grade 9, whatever that means. I don't even know what dating in grade 9 was. We've been married for almost 6 years now. And I was actually reflecting on this before like coming to have this conversation with you, because obviously it's all about relationships. And I'm thinking, who am I to be here when I've literally only dated one person in my life?
Well, that is remarkable to everybody.
But like the funny thing in all of this is, again, like we chose each other. We chose love, and there's that commitment with it. So even on the days where I'm like, I don't know if I love you today, it's like I do because I chose that. And there's that commitment and the devotion to it. And there's absolutely been seasons of our marriage, seasons of our relationship where like, I don't want to say we fall out of love, but they're harder than other times. And I can recognize that that's like my nervous system not feeling safe, right? Because that intimacy piece is only available if your nervous system is feeling safe to be in relationship with that person.
I do think too, like if you're choosing and you know that you've chosen this person, it makes it different for you, like down the road. Like even if there is a hard time, you're like, well,
again, that trust piece is there, the self-trust and also the trust in the other person.
Like I chose this person, so I'm choosing to get past this today or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't know, but
I think about like I said, we've been together for a long time and we had a baby almost 4 years ago, and becoming parents was really, really hard on our relationship. We honestly didn't have sex for 18 months, which is crazy. I know it's crazy to think out loud or it's crazy to say that out loud because like, what kind of marriage is that, right? But I can see so clearly
a lot
that
of people don't have sex though.
But that's crazy. Like that, like I don't want to define like what's a healthy relationship or not, but I would argue that like having sex is a part of a healthy relationship. And so that was really hard for us because we were very much in this like roommate stage or roommate phase. And I can see so clearly that like that feeling of connection, that feeling of safety, again, from a nervous system perspective, wasn't there for me. Like I was changing and evolving in early postpartum as a new mom, and like he was kind of still just living his best life. I'm like, we're not on the same page right now.
Yeah.
And again, like I think if we were earlier on in our relationship, that probably could have broken us, right? Because you kind of think, no, it's not going to work. But we have the resume to kind of prove that, no, this is just a season. Again, we're choosing each other. We can get through this. And like we have, and like sex is great. Everything's good. Like we're all good now.
Can you like give me examples just like from yourself with your nervous system? Because I feel like a lot of people don't recognize or understand like how their nervous system comes into play. Like I don't.
Yeah, I think
like I see TikToks, but I really don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like the most subtle things. It's like I said, like noticing when you get goosebumps and like full body chills around
But
someone.
goosebumps is not like, that's not common.
No, I guess it's not. But at the same time, like there's a difference where like, you know, when you are with someone, you're like, oh, that person has good energy. Like you can just feel it. And you might not have the language to explain why, versus like, oh, that person, like, I don't know. Like it's just kind of like you're on edge. Just noticing that difference and being able to discern like, am I just feeling this because like I'm telling myself I should? It's catching those shoulds. Like I should feel this around you, or I should do this around you. And instead being able to notice like what feels really natural. Like what am I having an impulse and like a nudge and just this kind of like, I want this with you versus this feels kind of forced. And that can be conversation. That can be like holding hands. That could be like even, I don't know, like when my husband comes home during the day, I can tell that like I'm more regulated on days where like I'm actually wanting to invite him into our space and like, hey, how was your day? And like eye contact, all of that feels easy versus a day where I'm totally like in survival. I mean, I have a 3-year-old, so that's most of the days. But like, it's like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like I'm just super closed off. It's subtle. It's such a hard question to answer.
I know it is. Do you have any tips for like confidence in dating?
Yeah, I think like that self-awareness, which seems like such an annoying answer, but being able to just, you know, kind of get close with yourself and start like understanding like what makes you tick. And that comes with being able to learn like, oh, this is like the jean example, right? Trying things on, you start to know like, oh, I like high-waisted or I don't like skinny. Like you have to go through that process. And that's kind of that self-awareness piece. Like I said, my dating experience is nothing because we're talking about some little boy in grade 9 that I'm like, I choose you. But I do watch a lot of
special though.
Right. It is. But like, it's just different, right? I don't have that experience of like having like that first date, like, or like going on a blind date, anything like that. Like I do not know what that looks like, but I watch a lot of Love is Blind. And so my mind kind of takes me there and thinking like you as a matchmaker, you're kind of setting up blind-ish dates. And obviously you are doing a lot of the back end compatibility stuff, but what does that look like? What is compatibility?
Well, I mean, compatibility is so many different things to so many different people.
Yeah.
But the one thing that, like, especially when you think about a show like that, when people are, you know, it's edited and compressed into like, you know, a certain specific, typical way. I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, obviously people are telling us what they want, what they like, what they need.
Right. They've already gone jean shopping.
Yes, they've
so
already
they're coming
gone,
in.
Now we're bikini shopping.
Right. Okay.
You know, it gets quick, right? Like people are quick, and I like that. I operate best on that when people are like quick. They tell us what they want. They tell us what they don't want. It's amazing. But the best thing about that is that I think people view a profile, view photos, view the, you know, typical demographic, whatever they get to view.
Yeah.
And they do make quick assumptions.
Right, because that's the first impression.
That is the first impression. And I always feel like, you know what, just keep going.
Right.
Go a little bit more, meet the person, then tell us.
Yeah.
Because it isn't based off the profile. It isn't based off the photos, even though we try to provide. I mean, I try to give like the best photos for that person, like whoever I think is viewing. I think this person needs to see these photos and like this is the way it's going to go. It doesn't always work that way.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs to be, you need to view them, obviously, yes, and approve, but go past that, meet them, and then see.
Well, and from like a nervous system and like energetic perspective, like you can't necessarily experience that just by looking at a photo, right? You need to be in relation with them. You need to
see, and I feel like people don't know that.
Yeah,
like
no, they
when
don't.
it comes to the nervous system, I feel like a lot of people don't truly understand like how that comes into play.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I have learned a little bit only because I'm been like a nervous person.
Yeah.
So I've had to like figure that out.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't a nervous person, I didn't need to learn that. Like otherwise I'd just be like,
yeah, cool and calm. I think too, like where my mind is going is like we've been fostering this cat, and this poor cat, he is honestly the best. He's like a unicorn cat. I am not a cat person, but my daughter's been asking for a cat, which is how this whole thing unfolded. And he is literally like a dog in a cat suit. But the thing is he's just like, he has this teeny tiny thumbnail image on the adoption page. And so everyone's just giving like first impression, making their decision off of a first impression. It's like, well, if you actually came over and got to meet the cat, you'd fall in love with him. And I imagine that's a lot like dating, right? Like you can't really get to know somebody just off a profile.
No. I mean, cats, dogs. I mean, I have had cats and I have had dogs.
Yeah.
But like, there will be a time or two where they would just say cats or dogs. Like, what are you going to choose? A dog.
Dog, 100%.
Yeah, you're going to choose dog.
Yeah. Red flag if you say cat.
Yeah, red flag. If you're a guy and you say cat,
absolute red flag. I'm curious too, like with the compatibility, like is it like or when you're meeting with someone and they're telling you the things that they like and the things that they don't like, is it more of those like, I don't want to say superficial, but like the surface level, like I want them to have this kind of job and this much money and like this kind of whatever else? Or is it like, I want this feeling with them?
Well, we can't predict a feeling, which is the thing, right? So like everybody does have a superficial list.
Yeah.
And then we just say like, hey, what are your non-negotiables like through the superficial list?
Yeah.
Meet them anyway. And then if more comes from that, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because you can't predict chemistry.
No, you can't.
Right?
Well, and I think chemistry is the perfect word because chemistry is literally like that organic bodily process, hormonally, what is happening in your body.
Did your nervous system react?
Nervous system. Exactly. Yeah. That's the question you can start asking your clients. Did your nervous system react to them?
They'd be like, you're crazy.
But seriously, like that felt sense of safety. And like, I know it's hard to describe because it is so different for each person, but like, I don't know, assuming you have like a decent relationship with your mom or your parents or your sister, like you can start to, again, the jeans example, okay, I know that fits, right? I know this is what it feels like to be in like a safe and secure relationship versus something that's more toxic or something that like makes me feel like I have to act a certain way around them or like whatever it is, right? And it's not necessarily like a bodily response. It's also just like how confident are you to be able to be vulnerable with them? Or do you constantly feel like, you know, guards are up and like you're shielding yourself in some way? You're closed up.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nicole, for coming on today.
You're so welcome. This was so fun. Thank you.